we have a third game, beautifully enough, placed in the position of the third game. You know, fourth game follows it, second game just happened. Lots of action always here on the LCO. And look, of course, this game is going to be at Direwolves up against Kanga. And look, let's just hop right on into it. I'm going to keep on saying that every single day. But let's talk Direwolves first. They don't hop. And Kitty, you were talking about, you know, you have this fascination with animals, you know, the mascots. So tell me, why are the wolves? Why are the wolves going to take this over the kangaroos?
Don't frame it like that, Mac. Okay, well, other than the fascination with fur, what was it, mascots or something? Yeah. We are coming into this game where we have two renowned Ahri players. We have Kyosei and Chungi for tonight's match. And obviously we saw the Zeri top coming out of Zornus, and that thing absolutely popped off. It was into a Wukong matchup where he got a solo kill level 1. We saw Bulldog, he was just being Bull God as usual, and Frost was on those super carries.
I feel like, look, going up against Kanga, it's going to be... I reckon it's a very, very tight battle. You know, we've had a chat about these mid laners as well. You know, Chungi going up against Kyosei. It's definitely a conversation. But where are the other strong points for Kanga? Like, where are we going to see this one through, Skin?
I feel like it's a similar point each week, right? You're still waiting for the bot lane to really showcase their strength, I suppose. But I'm always looking towards Lived and Only. These are players that have played in some very strong teams over the years. They've got the experience. You're really hoping that their voice leads the team to success. It has hurt them a few times, right? Because bot lane has been so influential in a lot of these games. But I feel like both these teams draft such quirky picks. So it might not necessarily be about the player, but also the champions that they can use in particular. You look at this game, for instance, Chungi actually locks into Malzahar, the only game of Malzahar we've had so far. Dire also winning, they're leading the tempo for the first, say, 15 minutes of the game. One dive on towards Chungi, one sidestep, and they just turn it all around, right? It was just a fight that they couldn't take. The mid-tier one was still standing. Very volatile game, and I'm sure one that Zoranis will be wanted to get because his KDA wasn't looking too pretty. So I'd be looking top sides, top and jungle in particular.
I feel like, yeah, jungle's going to be an interesting one for me because, you know, Gudo, we've seen him have some pop-off performances, especially last year. But this year, still sort of waiting. It feels like he's sleeping and just waiting for that moment to shine. Maybe it's just the champs that he's playing. I'm not too sure. I can't really put my finger on it, but keen to see what he's going to be able to do up against Only. Now, I have heard that Only is a little bit sick today, so we'll see if that maybe affects his performance. You know, sometimes you do get those head colds and they can just like throw you off. So we'll see if there is anything there. Now, top lane as well. Let's talk about that. So Lived up against Zoranis. Lived wants to gap everyone colossally, but unfortunately just keeps on getting focused. And it seems like even though he's a very, very strong player, a lot of teams have identified that maybe that is the weakness to take down Kanga.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw the biggest proof of that last night, right? Up against PGG. He drafts a laning Lee Sin, which caught everybody off guard because they had so many options. And you would look at that draft and say, that's probably going to be a jungle Lee Sin, given they had a Gwen and a Riven available. But he takes that one. You're thinking the Riven's going to be fantastic, right? To look to try and find that skill check into the Yasuo. Yuri said, that's nice in idea. Nice in principle. I'm just going to shove the wave, roam top, numbers in flux, overload this Lee Sin, and he got no protection. So it does feel like a formula for success is limit Liv's impact, and then, you know, from top to bot, they're really struggling to find, okay, who's going to give us that damage? Who's going to give us that flanking opportunity? Otherwise, they're just grouping up for the 5-man ARAMs and just hoping something happens.
Speaking of ARAMs, we do love a bit of action in mid. Now, Chungi and Kyosei, both of which have had some pop-off performances in the last couple of weeks. Chungi more this week, right? He's had a couple of rough ones, but finally got to play some Ahri and show what he's capable of. But when I'm thinking of Ahri, I'm thinking of Kyosei as well. So is it going to be banned? Is it going to be picked? And who's going to get to play it, Kitty?
So Mac, coming into the new patch with these two players, Ahri has a 100% pick ban for both of these players. Obviously, we saw Chungi have an outstanding performance on that Ahri mid. Kyosei not so much, but he can redeem himself with the games in the future. Something else I want to pick up on is, well, something else I picked up on was both teams have their mid laners on mages. So they're all mage players. Chang'e, although the ribbon pick is okay, but we do see Kyosei being more consistent with the potential to carry. Also, looking at these stats that I have on the side, they have a similar KP. However, Kyosei is sitting on 30 more assists compared to Chang'e.
Okay, that's a pretty solid stat. Anything you have to say about this one, Skimmy?
Yeah, I think the ace up Chang'e's sleeve is that he, whilst they do share a lot of similarities, he does have a few of those AD champions in his back pocket. His most played would be Yasuo. So if there was ever a time for him to say, this is what really separates the two of us, then that would be a chance to showcase a bit of damage balancing, if you will.
Yeah, now someone that's very good at balancing where he is on the Rift is fortunately Lemus, and I've got him for an interview. So let's check in with him, see how he's going into today's match. Lemus, tell me, how are you feeling going into this one?
I'm feeling good as ever. Can't wait to play. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Now, can I call you King? Because I see it's in your Twitter tag there.
Okay, I'll let you do that.
Oh, thanks, King. Now, I just need to know, so down in the bot lane, obviously Lionel's gone for that role swap coming into this year. How often does he ask you just to, like, swap roles for a day?
He actually asks me more often than you think. The kid has an ego on him, so he thinks that he's better than me on Israel, but I mean, I still haven't proven to him yet, but I know deep down that I'll destroy him on any AD carry pick.
Oh, very good. Well, fortunately, you're on the same side, so just hold those fists back for now. What's the focus for you and Lionel? You know, going into the second round of games, you get all these rematches. I guess, what are the goals?
Well, the goal always remains the same. It's to play as well as possible and win.
Solid goal. Look, I can't fault that one. Now, I need to know, just personally, do you ever get distracted mid-game by Only's jawline?
Listen, look, it's not only his jawline, but it's also his, like, deep, husky voice, if you know what I mean.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, I had to, just brought that one up in my mind. Now, of course, Random Acts of Kindness. It's International Random Acts of Kindness Week. I'm sure you knew that. Now, when did you last pay it forward?
I don't think I've ever paid it forward in my life. I'm a selfish guy. I just pay for myself. I'm just like
there's
a
no
greedy AD carry, you know.
Better week to start. There is no better week to start than right now. So after the game, it's probably going to be a bit too late, but maybe tomorrow you can go, I don't know, help someone cross the road or something that people do, you know, chivalry and all that. Anyway, King, I'm going to let you go. Good luck in the game, and hopefully you can get another dub.
Thanks.
I thought he loved
it,
that
he?
one. He loved that interview. I'm sorry, Lemus. I'm sorry. But look, he did bring up the Only's voice, so it's not just me that's the fan, of course.
True.
But look, let's start to talk predictions. This is where I feel like maybe we got some splits, you know? Maybe it's not going to be just me and then 3 of the other...
Oh, Kitty, why are you copying me again, man?
You know, I looked at the script. I believe something's gonna happen tonight, Skimmy. So don't you worry. Where's Mac?
Oh, I just had to.
Max had enough of the show, eh? He's done.
I thought finally we got a nice close game coming up today. We're gonna get some splitting in the predictions. Skimmy and Kitty aren't gonna keep copying each other's homework, but I don't know. Maybe next game that'll happen. Probably not. I'm gonna stop hoping for anything at this point. I'll start copying you guys, and then it'll be even more boring.
True.
How about that?
Yeah, true.
Now tell me what Direwolves has over Kanga in this one. Is it just the chemistry? Is it just how good they're looking this week? Tell me, Skimmy.
Oh, tell me. Well, I think like you look at the game when they played last time, and it was very back and forth. It was like a 40-minute blinder between the two of them, so it definitely wasn't clean on either side. So if you're looking to try and get a little bit of confidence from that, it's hard to really derive it. But I think in terms of like draft differences, if you're looking at crazy picks, both teams do play crazy picks. This is probably the game to watch if you want to see some unique picks come out that are against the grain, against the meta. I just feel like Direwolves have got a few more and are actually making them work a little bit better.
Okay, Kitty, anything to add on that for your reasoning you copied Skimmy's homework?
Something to add on is, Mac, your win rate is looking like my ranked solo queue win rate. 15 to 19, it's like 43 or something. But besides the point.
She just done you dirty, Mac. You gonna take that?
No, she just kind of roasted herself. I'm happy to cop the L in the predictions. But look, are you still challenger with a neg win rate?
Well, I'm positive now, but at the start of the split, I believe, no, the season, I was, what, 3 to 7 in my provisionals, so I'm pretty sad about that. But, you know, we can bring it back, so it was for the Kanga. But going into tonight's match, we obviously have a lot of, they share a lot of similar champions, so it just depends on who gets those champions in Champ Select.
Fortunately, Kitty, we get to find out that right now because Champ Select's ready. Game 3, going live. Is it going to be Wolves? Is it going to be Ruse? Just go have a look.
Wolves and Ruse, I like that one. It rolls off the tongue nice and easily. It's the rematch of all rematches, a chance to see some picks that may be just a fraction different. Forget about the meta. We're seeing all those bans all the time. This would be the chance for us to see pocket picks get banned out. Lose side for Direwolves, so every team's going reds. Knowing that they can flex the Zeri has to go.
Zeri's gone, Ari's gone, Yasuo is gone. They are target banning the hell out of Chang'e. This Graves pick can flex from top to mid. Likely the win rate is going to be at Graves top. Locking in the Aphelios to counter cheeks from Direwolves. It's a hard counter, but in my opinion, the laning is easier for the Aphelios because you have that for the ganks.
Well, I understood a little bit of that there, Kitty. Yeah, I understood a little bit of that. You have gone full robot on me at the moment, I'll hope that you haven't just disappeared into the Matrix once again. So I'll take over for just a hot minute. We do have, as you say, the Graves locked in with the Aphelios. We have seen Liv play that before. They played that into piece when they got that historic upset. They played all laning summoners. Forget about the T-piece. Does not matter. We've got Jinx and Fresh, which is also really, really nice. But I'm here to see where we go.
So Skimmy
again. Okay, so Kiosi's just going to lock that in.
Skimmy,
are we back?
Yes,
Hello?
I'm back. Okay, so I was actually saying that Kanga responded to the Jinx first pick with the Aphelios. I actually prefer the Aphelios a little bit more than the Jinx because you have that Graviton to set up the lane ganks. Obviously picking away the Thresh because next best in slot support will be Lulu. Chang'e locking in the Karthus.
Yes.
This can be flexed to jungle, but it's most likely going to be a mid lane Karthus.
You really think so? I would love to see Only run it back. He is so good at Karthus jungle, please. Just one time.
You know, can go both ways. This Graves can go jungle, but with the whole breaker changes, it's most likely going to be a Graves top. Chang'e is a Karthus mid lane player, but he can also give that Karthus over to Only because he's also had some really good performances on that Karthus. Malphite being banned, you don't want to give that to Zoranus. Janna is still open, might I add.
It is, but please, no, surely this is not the game for it. You really hope that I'm not going to run it down. Look, I'm seeing a Kyose Syndra once again. Let's just dial it back 24 hours. What do we see? He finished that game 13-0. Yes, first Syndra game. It's looking clean as ever, so would not be surprised for them to now target a lot more champions towards Chang'e in particular. So the Veigar's gone. What's next on the chopping block?
They're going to just keep banning out mid laners because they do assume that Karthus is going to the jungle, so that's why we see the Veigar ban. You're getting rid of the Tryndamere because Tryndamere can also build a Hull Breaker, which does pretty well into the Graves split push. But I'm assuming they just 3-ban Chang'e.
Yep.
Wow, that is a lot of respect to Chang'e. With the Fiora being banned, okay. Zoranus? What is Zoranus going to pick?
They still must be thinking that this Graves is potentially being flexed, right? I mean, where else is this Fiora going if you really think okay, it could be perhaps in the mid lane, but that would be the first Fiora ban. I am still waiting for it. I would have thought if anybody, it would have been Lived that would have played these kind of champions. As the Nautilus will get locked in, so you've at least got 1 point of certainty, right? Aphelios Nautilus in the bot lane, that should be at least confirmed.
Well, that's definitely confirmed. That's a high kill lane going into the Jinx and Thresh. Nocturne being hovered by the Dials.
It's locked.
Oh, look it in. Come on.
They
okay,
are?
it's
Okay.
locked in. Okay, cool. So that's going to be a Nocturne jungle going into... We don't know who the jungle pick for Kanga is yet. Zornus bringing out his Camille. He's going to revive the win rate against Kanga, I believe. He went 0-8 last time, just to refresh your memory. Maybe it's a taunt, we don't... Ooh!
He's doing it, yeah, and he went into an Ornn, I believe, last time. So he's basically saying, I can hold myself to a higher standard. I'm not really that poor when it comes to laning into Liv. So I'm going to run it back. It's going to give us a split pushing avenue, potentially a Hull Breaker 2 if they did want it. And that could, you know, really open up the doors for maybe 2 Hull Breakers in a lane. We've yet to see it. Jax, please.
Karthus mid. It is a Karthus mid.
Yes, yes, yes. We will get it. Liv G Beauty. You've blessed me with a champion I've wanted to see for such a long time. We've got a whole host of options going on here.
I'm so excited to see Lived on this Jax. I think he's a really good Jax player, especially going into... I would say that Jax wins the Camille vs Jax matchup. But obviously it's going to be a Karthus mid and Graves jungle coming out of Kanga. So Chang's actually been spamming just a little bit of Karthus in solo queue, and his main goal to win is farming Raptors.
Okay.
He's gonna steal... Oh! Wait. Skimmy.
Just got null and void. Do you need to hold the phone for 2 seconds? Do we need to wait until we actually load into game? Because there's still so many options. I mean, you say it, Chungy's played it, so there's definitely that avenue, but I date my mind back many moons ago where Only's been playing this Karthus and he was absolutely smurfing with it. It looks to be confirmed, so we're going to get a laning Graves in the mid lane. A blast to the past. It's been a very long time since we've seen this.
So we do have Kyosei on the Syndra again. It is quite the preferred pick going into this match because Syndra does provide the early CC and it provides a really good setup for those ganks coming out of Gudo. But we do see Changi responding with a Graves. Graves, this patch we actually don't see that much in the mid lane because the current meta build is obviously going Hullbreaker, and as the mid laner you can't really build that first. Usually in the solo lane you want to build that Bloodthirster, the red colored build on Graves. But we see only on Karthus again. He was really good at this champion in Split 2 of LCO 2021. I'm excited to see that.
Certainly am. And I'm just curious to see what rune setup he goes for. Will it be the Dark Harvest or will it be First Strike? You know, does he want more damage? Does he want more gold? What equates to a better end result? Lots of spicy picks. I think we've hit the nail on the head, right? If you are looking for different champions, then these are the 2 teams to provide it right now in the meta for the LCO.
Yep, and we see Bull God locking in the Thresh with Leonor responding with that Nautilus. So looking at this bot lane matchup, the Aphelios and Nautilus should have the upper hand in the early game because they do have just a little bit more CC compared to Frost and Bull God. If I keep saying Bull God, I'm just going to make it a habit, and it's just going to be Bull God to me.
And look, he's going to be your biggest fan. He's no doubt going to look to try and make a montage out of all your sound bites. So no doubt, propping him up. And someone else that we can prop up is the coach of Kanga. So let's welcome back Coach Drak to the conversation. And, you know, talk all things about this game in particular. So welcome back, Drak. You know, you've both displayed so many unique picks already this split. So coming into this one, was that the real key to success?
In an ideal world, everyone would probably play every champion, but the reality though is that often individual players have their own style or preferences to what they think is best, and sometimes they just don't play what the meta shifts to as well. So while not always desirable, sometimes a cheeky pick, or in this game I guess 2 of them, can shake things up a bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I imagine, you know, having got that initial win in this previous matchup, right, that one that you were relying on for such a long time, is this game of even more significant impact?
Every win's important to us at the moment. We obviously want to get as many as possible. It would be nice to beat Wolves again, but they're a good team as well, and they've got their own take on the meta at the moment. So it's always going to be a challenge.
It always will be a challenge. Well, I appreciate your time as always there, Drak. Wish you boys the best of luck in this rematch.
Thank you very much.
Skimmy.
Has gone for Dark Harvest, hasn't he? He's gone Flashless. He's gone Smite Exhaust.
Smite Exhaust, not uncommon because he is going up against a Nocturne. Nocturne can go for those early invades. Let's give me... Oh! A really early hook from Lionel. A little bit of trade of health. But I do want to talk about Kanga's comp. They have a Jax who wants to farm. They have a Karthus who wants to farm. They have a Graves who wants to farm. And they have an Aphelios who wants to farm. There's not enough farm to go around all the boys. What's going to happen when we run into that issue, Skinny?
Yeah, it does beg the question, right? Because we have been propping up Lived a lot as to he wants to be the star of the show when given these champions to excel upon. But what happens when you've got a lot of resource-hungry individuals who has to really draw the short straw?
Yeah, Chungy putting that ward on Raptors, so we do see that Gudo is playing, clearing towards that red buff, and only starting blue is going to just full clear and potentially look for a double scuttle if it's possible, because he does win those 1v1s with the exhaust. See, only hard pushing in the wave, setting up an early push for only to actually contest the scuttle. It seems that both junglers won't actually meet on the rift tonight this early.
I was just getting excited about top lane. You know, these two are just absolutely biffing at one another, right? You know, only level 3, and they're both just saying, hey, look, whenever we get a chance, we're going in. Counter-Strike is there. What you going to do? Tactical Sweep as a response looks good to me. The passive from Zoranis' Camille is putting in a fair bit of work. But the biggest difference for me, right, is the fact that Zoranis has opted for, Ignite TP Lived Flash. So there's going to be some discussion around, you know, what summoner advantage can be found, be it, you know, one's gone for grasp, the other's gone for lethal tempo. So many small little micro adjustments that could come in clutch.
So Zoranis is coming into this matchup knowing that it's going to be a hard lane for the Camille. So he's opted into the Ignite and the grasp just to give him a little bit of an extra edge coming into this losing matchup against the Jax, providing a little bit of extra sustain from that grasp. So we do see a slow pushing wave from Kanga building towards Dials' bot lane. Only's been spotted.
Spotted, Counter-Strike is there, potential for lethal. The turnaround here has the flash because the hook shot was buffered. That is just how deceivingly close it is, right? You look and feel like Jax has the advantage. Zoranis finds his moment and bites back.
It's probably 40-60 Jax favored. It's still up to the mechanics of both players to determine who wins the 1v1. We do see Gudo spotted on a ward. I'm assuming left by the Karthus when he was getting that scuttle in top. Both top laners burning the TP, so we won't have any TPs for this dragon. We actually see Graves opting into a D shield, so he's just going to be wave clearing and not trading against the Syndra. When he's invading for the Raptor, he's going to actually camp here, waiting for the Nocturne or even a Thresh who will roam towards this mid lane.
Yeah, he was hedging on the bet, right, that Gudo was going to path towards this side of the map, given that the jungle camp was available, but it's not to be the case. No, Gudo's actually opted top side to assert more vision control, counter clear some, and hoping that Only's going to do the same to him.
We see 4 people hovering this top side of Direwolves, while Lionel's actually preparing for... Oh, they're already on Dragon, so they did that. They put down the vision in that brush right there, so they can take this dragon safely.
Nice early Drake, and that's confirmed for the side of Kanga. They got themselves a Hextech Drake, and given that the next will be Ocean, you're probably now really hoping Infernal Soul is on the cards, because that would give all these carries, which some will not be as fed as others, the extra damage that they need to find those dirty late game skirmishes.
The exhaust is coming in. Skinny. The jungle 1v1.
Oh, good flash from Gudo. He's gone.
Lionel's just been following Only around the map.
Not done though. Kyoshi is just going to walk by to protect his jumped upon jungler. Walk in and say, you can steal our Raptors, we'll all steal yours instead. Everybody at the 6-minute mark is just coming to say hello.
Raptors are going to be the main goal coming out of Dial. Oh, Frost actually takes Scuttle by himself. He might actually get caught here.
Here we go, they'll hold that for 2 seconds because the Hexagon Maiden goes down. Combo that with a Death Sentence and a Flay, and you have unleashed the power of Kiyosei Syndra nice and early once again.
So looking from the mini-map, it seems that Zoranis' wave top is actually frozen or it's slow pushing towards him. So with Zoranis having that downtime, he actually looked mid lane with that ulti and actually got a kill on Chungy. So it is a slow pushing wave. It's really hard for Zoranus to actually walk up, so he did choose to go gank mid, similar to what Tien would do on a Camille.
Lane being held here at the moment, here by Lived, who's on his way towards that Sheen completed item. I really wonder though if we will get a whole break of this game.
Only is 6, and Guro just reached 6 with his ulti available for these lane ganks. So we do see that the two mid laners have... Oh, so Lived is actually very ahead in terms of XP. If Zoranus dies on this wave, he's going to be very behind because I believe that's 3 waves building. He's going to look for the freeze. He can't, there's too many minions. And they're going to look for an ulti on bot lane. Wait.
Certainly are looking for it.
Karthus
It's
was...
gone out, but
Well,
no one's low enough.
that was a really random Karthus ult coming out of Oni. No one was actually low on the map to actually be executed. Interesting. Padding the damage stats to be expected of a Karthus player.
I can sort of see
Oni's
from Oni's
smiling.
reaction, he's cracking up.
I
So
think-
all I can imagine is that just a misclick. Perhaps it's just as simple as saying, I've come out of base, I've hit the wrong button.
Definitely a misclick coming out of Oni, but he's smiling, so it's good to laugh it off. So we do see Dragon coming up in 2 minutes. Bowling has just been, as you said, Skinny, earlier, a handshake for both ADCs. Nothing going on down there. Our main focus is still going to be on this Jax Camille lane. With both jungles having these global ultis, it's going to impact this 1v1 quite a lot, depending on which ulti is actually up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that first paranoia that Gudo has, you'd really want to see that find success, right? It has to find a kill. Snowballs not only yourself, but the rest of your team into a very comfortable position. As it stands, you know, for Kanga, their win con would seem nice and early on, get a very early Drake Soul. And Kios is actually going to roam up on Vision, which has been spotted, Chungy matching. And now we'll both find themselves retreating back to the mid lane, unless it's a double fake, and no one knows what to do.
A really hard matchup for Zoranus. Getting chunked, but Kyosei...
He's flashed, and he's just locked him in place. No, Liv is flashed as well. But the Syndra Orbs would always travel, and they will always find their mark.
Dials is actually being really proactive with these decisions. Obviously, you see the Kyosei rotating to top. He made that decision to look for a kill on Lift, just to help Zoranus actually push in his wave. But we saw Karthus around Dragon Pit while Chungy was making his way to top. So I don't know if it was a miscommunication or Liv just underestimated their damage. I don't think they expected Liv to die there.
Yeah, all you can imagine is he's looking to try and flash towards Chungy to soak up some pressure, but once again, it's a targeted ultimate, so it just feels like an oversight, all things considered. They're going to run it back, as you should. Punish the fact he has no summoners. Zoranus has got Ignite. There is kill pressure here.
So we actually do have the ulti available from Only, when Gudo's ulti is still on cooldown for another 40 seconds. Giving Dragon priority completely over to Kanga.
Sneak his way in. Thank you very much to the observers there showing us that one. If they can find this kill on towards Liv, he does have TP to come back. That's a big wave stacked up against him, and Kanga are slowly achieving second Drake.
Liv died once to the 3-man and he's like, I'm not gonna die again, so he's very far back. He does not want to trade another kill for this Drake.
Everybody's come up. It's literally deja vu. We just saw this happen again. Now they're going to go in. Paranoia, lock him in place with Hex. They hold him in. If you can't do anything, Chunky, you're just dead. Now they're going to go and turn their attention all the way on towards Liv. Requiem's going to come on through. That's a trade. And then Liv steals it. He wants that kill.
Liv is...
No, the potion. The potion,
Oh,
the
the
corrupting
potion.
pot. It's enough. Unless Zoranus, counter-strike. On his head, leap. Oh, the passive. It's too big from the Camille.
That
Very
is
explosive.
So from that trade, it can go both ways. Zoranus actually got so much from that because they dropped the Herald for the top tower, but only picked up 2 kills with his ulti and Q, I believe. Because he did turn up late. So we do see the Herald being dropped. Zoranus goes in. Chungy getting absolutely one shot from the Camille ulti. And Kyose seems to have forgotten about Karthus ult, but Karthus is making his way up to top lane right now. Liv barely lives. Zoranus knows if he doesn't go for this kill and trade for a 1-for-1, Only's just gonna kill him anyways. So it's really good that Zoranus actually went in and traded for that kill.
So many mini battles, multiple little moments where individuals are showing up big time to see what they can do to try and give their team that slight winning edge. And as it stands, 2 teams that are playing towards very different ideas of what would give them that winning edge, right? Direwolves playing for kills, up by, you would say, nearly 2k gold at this stage, but Kanga quite happy just to keep farming up those Drakes if they're given over for free.
So I was talking to Rusty about this. Something we noticed with Corporal's playstyle is that he actually really likes roaming top as a melee support. From this game, we have a Thresh, we have a Nautilus. They are both really good in skirmishes. Both ADCs obviously have the handshake in the bot lane, so I'm wondering why aren't they roaming more towards this top lane?
Well, whenever that cooldown is ready to go, they're just going to do it on repeat. They're targeting Lived again, the focus, the carry, the champ to do it all. He's working his way towards the base to save himself. Challenging Smite was not enough on that occasion. Now the fight continues. Only picks up another kill from the Afterlife. He is putting in work with those little Skittles in lane, but Direwolves just have too many members, too healthy to put down.
So Graves actually TP to the first tier tower in top, but Gudo realized and he just straight up ordered that thing to death. So Chungy's TP actually got cancelled mid-fight. So only maybe he thought there was a TP coming, was committed to the fight, but they just got baited. TP.
Yes, could be in trouble here. As you say, TP comes in from Zoranus. Doesn't have the ultimate, does have the ignite though, and the question is, will he burn it? Not necessary. Divine Thunder does enough damage on this occasion. Chungy looking to try and provide the gank. He's forced to disengage away, and Lionel probably quite happy that the dredge line didn't connect on that occasion.
That was really good patience coming out of Zoranus. He did have the hookshot connected to the wall, waiting for Limaz's flash to actually come out, and then he does the second part of the hookshot where he actually hits Limaz. So really good mechanical play coming out of Zoranus there with the flank ward. When I said this matchup is a 40-60 Jax favored matchup, this Zoranus is 4-1. It doesn't matter that it's a skill expression matchup because whoever gets the resources and the kills will just dominate them until maybe level 16.
He's just been given a lot of pressure from the rest of his team. Like they've been showing up big time, top lane, making sure that this Camille will be a menace. Forget about the whole breaker split push. These guys want traditional items. They want to fight. They want to showcase what they can do in this game. And now, you know, you've got another Drake to play for. Up in 30 seconds, Direwolf this time hunting the area for wards. Putting it out, they do need to contest.
Dragons coming up in 20 seconds. We have both globals available from the 2 junglers. Both ADCs, no flash.
Oh, he's just gone. Beautiful ward placement from Direwolves.
Liv is caught again. Oh, comes
Pops
to
to the blast
safety.
cone. Out he goes. And that hurts. I mean, that really does hurt for Kanga. They would have really loved to have played for a 25-minute soul point. Would have really accelerated their growth in this game, given them a potential out, given that they are down gold at the moment. This is going to catapult Direwolves just that much further.
It seems that Chungy is kind of being impatient when he rotates through these fights because obviously the rush throughout a hook with that glacial is really hard. With Kyose connecting the stun, quite a dire situation for Kanga.
Feels that way, but you are looking at their total gold graph right now, and you're looking at Only. He's the only member in a sea of blue right now.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Sometimes it works.
It always works. We have Rift Herald still available for the map play, with Frost getting that mid priority. They're gonna rotate to this Rift Herald, only does have ult available for this fight. Karthus is actually gonna go to his bot side, so they're just gonna completely give up on this Rift Herald. They can't contest it with Liv getting the bot tower.
Let the split pushing begin. Kanga go for their first turret of the game. Been a very quiet game for the AD carries, you'd have to say. They have been left for the most part down bot lane farming for free. We saw that one TP to get a gank to make Limus the scoreline 0-1, but otherwise it has been all eyes on mid jungle top.
This is why I think ADC is quite a useless role in solo queue, because when your jungle decides to play for that top lane, you're just basically being left on an island, right? But top laners take TP. This is less of a problem now because of the TP nerfs, but Limas was 0-0-0 for the majority of the game until that fed Zoranus decided to TP flank him and just make his day miserable. How do you... No matter how much you farm, you just cannot outplay a fed Camille.
No. And it only gets really from bad to worse, right? Because we've seen the combo that they've played, which is turn off the lights, hit the Hextech Ultimatum, and you just can't do anything. You can't see anything, you can't comms anything. Your character is now staring what was a black screen into a grey screen. So maybe a colorblind test after all things said and done, but as it stands, Kanga do need to find some answers. They've kept the game competitive. They do still find themselves only 3k down. You'd hope that they start playing towards the side that Jax is split pushing.
Looking at the CS, Limas is sitting on 190 with Karthus following with the 170 CS. This is where the issue comes in, because we see the Jax being 120, but that's fair enough because he was camped for the majority of this game. Chang'e being 140 CS, you do not want to be this behind as a Graves solo lane. He's behind 2 levels, down 50 CS. This Graves is pretty useless in terms of what he's contributing to Kanga.
He's opted for Eclipse on this occasion, right? He wants the Armor Shred, wants to try and hit the one shot with the Collateral Blast, or Collateral Damage, I should say, from his ultimate. Maybe an angle for a Shield Bow to try and soak up all the pressure, we'll never know. As a Super Mega Death Rocket just drives by.
Interesting. Gotta get those 3 caster minions in the top lane. We do see Baron coming up in 10 seconds. So if Aphelios has the correct weapons, which is the white and red, or maybe even the white and green, they can shred that Baron with the Karthus.
Certainly can. Only starting to get into a position now where he's going to be a bit of a terror. Doesn't matter if you do kill him, he's got the Zonias, he can buy a lot of time. And I'd be curious to see how many Dark Arbor stacks he has. I'd imagine plus 10 at least at this stage, you'd be thinking. Only 2, that hurts. Only 2. So maybe an argument to say first strike could have been the answer.
To be fair, I think we've only seen 2 ultis coming out of only. One was a misclick and one was a kill on the Syndra, I believe. Not a lot of ultis coming out of only. A lot of CSing though, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's farming up a storm, right? And you're looking at Karthus now and saying, we need to get this Infernal Soul because you've got Leandries. You can get some kills, the Dark Seal becomes a Magias, and very realistically, right, you just hit the ult switch, everybody's 50%, you're going in.
Limas does have really good weapons for fighting, or even Baron shredding. But Zoranus needs to base and match this. Ooh, he is coming in with the TP. Okay, he's gonna look for this dragon. They can actually, Kanga can actually trade Baron while the, Darius is looking at this dragon.
Yeah,
but they do have it warded.
Big pings. Look at Kyose right now. He's got Unleashed TP. He's saying, well, I'll just push bot for free. It's an exposed inhibitor. I can just go for that if that's the play they want to make. We don't necessarily really need this Infernal Drake, but we know that's what Kanga are hunting for. So you've got to make a decision. The Indecisiveness will just kill you.
They have burnt the Kyose TP, but he has a really good flank angle on Liv.
It's going in
but
blind,
he's also alone.
It's been spotted. Bring up those orbs. Gonna get jumped upon here by Liv. Locked in place, flashing on top of his head. And he's just gonna die to the paranoia. If the Syndra doesn't kill you, then his jungler will. The fear connects with Only. Now
Karthus
finally he can
level.
play the game. He's got the Requiem. How many members can he find with this?
Oh,
Not
he cancelled
any.
the Karthus ult. Did he cancel the Karthus
No,
ult?
no, no. It landed on
okay.
Kyose. Kyose's down to 10%. Look at his health bar. Look how many members are low. He wishes he could recast the ultimate.
Lima's died with double summoners up. I wonder how that happened. I was just staring at Only's ult that entire time. I actually thought Camille cancelled the Karthus ult, but I guess it didn't because Kyose was getting burnt from that Leandri. So we're going to look at a replay. Kyose gets a really good flank from that TP. And Kyose actually is a bit slow on that. He nearly kills Lived. The Nocturnal goes to someone that is actually 1 HP, so it's not that great. Kyose uses the stopwatch, and we do see Only charging up that ulti. And Frost flashes in to get more DPS, and Zoran is just a unit. No one can actually kill him.
Does feel like he's hit that point of no return where the Camille can split, it can group, it can fight. It's 6-1. What a complete inverse of his last performance on this Camille. This is why it almost feels like it's one of personal vengeance where he has to prove, hey, look, this isn't how I play. I hold myself to a much higher standard than that. And 2 items already complete. Very hard to try and contest him in these side lanes.
So Kyose actually opted into a Void Star second just because he is the slower AP, so he needs as much penetration as he can get for these team fights. Zornus doesn't have TP online while Liv does, so this is going to be maybe a look for Kanga on this Baron. They are setting up vision.
Need to find something.
Very coming clutch with that Lantern actually. They know that Kyose burnt Flash from last fight.
Big Lantern, I mean, you can see the desperation, right, Kitty, that Kanga are hunting it. Really just scraps. They need numbers advantages. They can't afford just to walk into Baron Pit and try and do the conventional dance because, you know, Direwolves will just win.
Currently, Zornus is level 14 while Liv is level 12. This Camille will always win the 1v1 in the side. He has that extra item on the Jax. So Kanga is in a very pressured position where they need to look for either a pick or they need to kill this Camille in the side. But if they do go for the kill on the side, Dials is just going to start Baron.
They certainly can. They hold all the options at this stage of the game. Kyose and Zoranus are huge. Kyose, in fact, actually the highest in the game. 2 levels over the Graves. And you can see what it means. Look at the stun, the orb. It just locks 3 members in place, and the fight kicks off just like that. Only answers back. He's taken out Gudo. He still has Requiem. Could that be what they need? Look at Kyose. He does not have a stopwatch, but he can't cast it. The Requiem.
So we well, I'm not going to say obvious. We saw Lionel picking the Nautilus to counter this Thresh matchup. He actually didn't get much done, considering that Limaz and Lionel have a winning matchup into the Jinx Thresh early game. And now heading into the late game, this Jinx has that extra peel coming out of the Thresh, while Limaz is getting a Nocturne ult on him, he's going to get a Camille ult on him. It's really hard for Limaz to actually survive these fights while you have the Nautilus. So we're going to look at the replay. Lionel, might I add, just dies after engaging, and this Camille is huge, but Limaz does pick up that 700 gold from the Camille, so this could be a redemption point for the 80 carry of Kanga.
Could be. I mean, he's looking his way towards that Infinity Edge, right? He wants the 3 items. He'd love to find that before Frost can and potentially have those Aphelios moments. Put the boys on his back because they're down 5,000, nearly 6,000 gold. The gold lead just continues to grow away from them.
So there's actually no need starting, finishing Baron here because Karthus is still alive. So they want to look for a fight where they turn.
Deep TP, they haven't spotted him just yet. He's got all the options in the world right now. Jumps in, the focus is Bulldog. Maybe not who you want. He's now just been ulted. He's just dead. The lights go out. And the Direwolves pounce. Into darkness they go. And kills they find. Kanga can't answer back. They'll kill your Nocturne.
Ooh.
And they might find 2.
Very nice W.
But the Direwolves get the ace.
Wow, that fight looked like a winning fight for Liv. He did have that really good flank coming from the back of Baron. We saw Lionel use his Q to engage that fight, but he died so quickly, it actually just made Frost reset with his passive, and he could just flash out and run out of Liv's stun range. This Nautilus is actually not contributing that much, being 1-4, and Yosei actually DC, but let's look at the replay. So Lionel gets absolutely deleted, giving him the reset on the Jinx, and that allows him... Wow, that Q from Camille actually just half-health the Jax, ending his... I'm not going to say life, but ending his game time.
His impact.
Yeah, his impact, yes, thank you. Before Frost dies to the Karthus, he actually gets one more bullet from... onto Limas. I'm assuming we're coming back because we do have a pause.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and find out what's gone on there. It looked like Kirsty had disconnected from the game for just a second, but yeah, what a game we find ourselves in, right? You know, the Baron was always going to be a case of Direwolves didn't want to complete that. They were certainly just saying, you have to contest us. Of course you need to go in. And they turned. And it looked so good for a second there for Jax, but the fact is Liv jumps in. And we've kind of seen a similar story happen in another game from Kanga, right? Where he was playing the Camille and he was going into like that soul engage, jumping in all on his own. I've hit my ult, where's my team? Where's the follow-up? They're just not finding it. So pure frustration for him. He's actually opted for second item, Hull Breaker. Would not be surprised now if Liv just wants to try and split push for a bit.
I'm gonna help Rusty do his Rusty rants here. This Nautilus has 1 KP in 27 minutes. Not something you want to see coming out of your support from Kanga, because you obviously do want to go for those picks on for the carries. 1 KP at 28 minutes.
It hurts,
Very
right?
disappointing.
Yeah, certainly when you need that as the engage, those hooks can be absolutely crucial. Hasn't really found the mark today. There is potential. We know what he's capable of, right?
Collect has been...
We're just waiting.
We are waiting, but this Nautilus is not a scaling champ compared to this Thresh. This Thresh, as the game goes on, will just have a higher value because of that Lantern and the amount of peel that he can provide for this Jinx, especially when your comp is the Nautilus and Jax jumping onto your carry. Something I noticed is that there's been a lot of Collector tonight, Skimmy.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of discussion around the world, right, as to, you know, when this item should be purchased. Some say it just feels good, which is always something hard to quantify, right? But the best time I've ever seen it work out, right, is when you are significantly far ahead. Yeah, may not be the purchase on this occasion, but that's what we find ourselves with at this stage. And Kanga need to hope that they can find some more damage because they've had to sacrifice the last 3 Drakes. That's all adding up to Direwolves. And you're just seeing the damage that they're dealing. I mean, between Kyosei and Gudo, they start things off and people are just getting half-elfed.
So if I was Direwolves here, I would actually wait for Camille to push in that wave to have that side lane threat. Speaking of threats...
Lionel's going in, gets immune, Kyosei goes golden. The hook connects. There is no focus though. They're looking to try and find that kill. Everybody diving onto Limas. He is dead. He had flash in just 10 seconds, but 10 seconds he cannot find. They've taken out both the AD carries, but still, Direwolves are trading up as they've removed Lived again. Zrenes says, I am fed. I'm a 10-2 Camille.
Wow.
What's she gonna do?
That's a mini Cho'Gath on her Q. It's pretty balanced to me. Limas does die with both thumbs up. Pretty sad to be an ADC in this game on the side of Kanga, because how do you deal with this Camille? You don't have any single disengage coming out of Kanga, so this Camille is just jumping onto your carry's faces and just dying. Looking at the damage, this Zorinus, wow, he's just redeeming himself from his previous performance on the Camille.
Certainly is, and this might be a redeeming game for Direwolves because last time it went the distance of 40 minutes. They weren't able to find those moments during the mid-game to really cement their victory. But here in this skirmish, I mean, everything goes on towards Kyosei, but then they just turn around.
All the focus went onto the long-range carries, the Kyosei and Jinx. But people forgot about Zorinus. Look at him. He's going to hook shot in. Use Cho'Gath on Chang'e.
Oh.
With the Ignite coming out, it's just
that hurts.
an execution coming out of Zorinus.
It's a broken queue, and now he's got a stopwatch, so he can continue to play at that rapid rate of just pure aggression. Perhaps even a psycho is a word best described for his gameplay so far, because he is going in, and while some might say, that's not an angle I can foresee, he's seeing it, he's winning it, and he's getting out.
So we're seeing the cracks coming out of Kanga's comp. We see that Nautilus actually built, I think it's Evershroud, or is Even Shroud? Evershroud, I'm assuming. Instead of a Locket, if I was Lionel in this situation, I would actually build a Locket just because your team lacks that disengage.
They lack a lot of gold right now, though, don't they? They lack 10k gold, so...
Dragons coming up in 1 minute. Soul.
Yeah. We let that sit for a second because you're just watching. You know, the Baron buff inspired cannon is just free pushing out of range, taking down that top and head turret. And they're just letting their attention. No one needs to protect Xeranis. He can do it all on his own. Probably could 1v2. Well, he can 1v2. Probably even 1v3 at this point in the game. The rest of the Direwolves are saying, well, let's just try and get everything we can through mid. We're just biding our time. 30 seconds, as you say, Kitty. And it's Infernal Soul.
An advantage that Limes has currently is that stopwatch in hand. If Xeranis and Goro both ulti onto him again, he can survive that dive just for a couple of seconds. I think he will still die after the stopwatch proc. We do see only going for a blink.
Here comes Liv. He needs to find that one moment. He doesn't have a flash. The lights go out. They're just going to turn on him. Can anybody protect him? He can't see. He wants the ward hop, but he can't find it. The counter-strike won't do anything. Oh, I feel so bad for Liv right now. The Moonlight Vigil comes across the wall. The Flamethrower does not rip through the ranks. It tickles them. He just doesn't do enough damage at this late stage of the game. And knowing that the Baron buff is soon to expire, Kanga felt compelled that they had to do something. But Xeranis is saying this is how you team fight, and this is how you engage.
Look, Liv is going for those flanks, but it's just not working. Lionel is also just following up with a death. It's just so hard to actually engage from the side of Kanga for these fights.
It certainly is. Direwolves in their second meeting between themselves and Kanga get the win. A huge win at that 33-37. The numbers line up. It's pretty clean. You got Bulldog on your screen right there. Happy as ever with his AD carry, putting in a solid shift work. What a game there, Mac. I mean, this is the sort of situation where you look at a team and say, okay, Direwolves are drafting crazy. They're showcasing a lot of different stuff, but when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, they get it done.
Yeah, look, that was an interesting one to watch because it was pretty neck and neck for the first, I'd say like 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes. But then there was just a point where Direwolves, maybe at that 10-minute mark, were 5v1ing in mid and Chungy couldn't do a thing about it because the whole team was just in his face. So it looks like Direwolves have gone back, looked at what's been going wrong, what's been going right for them, and then just decided, you know what, we're just going to do things together, and that was it. It just got him across the line. You know, Xeranis, I don't even know, was Camille that hard of a counter pick for the matchup in the top lane, or did it just end up being a counter pick, you know, later on? Because man got fed, man got big, and you could see the Direwolves were happy to play around him. Even Goodo, look, that Nocturne, every time we see it, it just does so much work competitively, especially when you do have everyone playing around his ult. So I want to see a bit more of this in the LCO going forward, but I want to see a bit more of this quality of Direwolves as well. The team play was so good. Bulldog roaming up a storm, always hitting the CC when necessary. Something that Lionel can probably go back and look at and figure out how to hit a hook here or there, or just find some kind of impact. It's rough, but he's not doing anything. He's just constantly never doing anything. And I heard you had enough, Kitty. I've had enough. I want to see a little bit more. Does he want to play ADC that bad? I'm asking all the real hard-hitting questions here, Skimmy.
You certainly are. Look, hey, in terms of Direwolves, yeah, flex those guns, baby. Look, I'm really, really curious to see who actually gets the MVP here, because you can make an argument for literally everybody, right? Xeranis on his own, fantastic, like, held the wave, but then he was definitely assisted by the likes of his jungler and his mid laner. I mean, Pyose is just phenomenal. He's cracked on Syndra. Bulldog putting in so many fantastic hooks, the boxes to disengage, the lanterns to safety when there's a potential isolated member for Kanga to snatch up. Very hard call. Great game.
Yeah, beautiful game. Infernal Soul, not needed to close things out, as, you know, every time they took a fight, they were just so far ahead that they just managed to make it work. I felt so bad for Lived right at the end when he couldn't see the ward. I was just thinking, like, no, how the hell has this happened? And he just knew from that point it was all gone skis. I was excited when I saw Jax drafted because I laughed about it earlier, thinking like, all right, look, they said this is something that could happen. Let's see what it does. And unfortunately, again, Liv's just not getting to play his game.
Look, Mac, I'm not actually intentionally going in on Lionel, but you can just see from the scoreline, I believe Bulldog was 1-0-17 at some point, and Lionel was 1-6 with 0 assists, so scoreline says it all.
It's just all about, you know, having that agency, having that roamability, knowing where to be, and it feels like Lionel's still learning. But look, who better to learn from than Bulldog, sorry. Anyway, he's down on the sideline. Let's go have a chat with him. Big man, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, fam? Hey, that me up. Hey, let's go.
Get it, son,
okay.
get it. Beautiful.
We get that
how you feeling after the dub?
Feeling good, obviously. Who wouldn't feel good after a win? Winner, chicken dinner. Yes,
beautiful. Just going straight up that leaderboard. Now, look, we were just complimenting you. You were everywhere. You had real high kill participation in that game. Always dropping the lanterns. Now, I need to know, you know, there's been a couple of rough days for you guys on Direwolves, but today it looked like something changed. Did you go back? Did you do the theory? I saw you were all roaming. You were taking like 5-on-1 fights to get you that initial lead, and then from there it was just all downhill, right?
I mean, yeah, I think I've actually just screwed my head on this game. All the past games I've kind of into my team, but we move and we learn.
That's it, beautiful. It's all about learning. Now, I believe it is actually bring your... Where is it? Sorry, I've lost it. Today, I've fully lost it. Where did it go? It's Take Your Family to School Week over in America. Now, it looks like you did that today. You did a little bit of teaching, and, you know, you definitely shared with the class, you shared with Kanga how to play support in that bot lane. So, you know, if you had to give any tips to Kanga, what would it be? What could they learn from your performance today?
Hey, just press your buttons. Press QWER and you're good to go. That's all you need to do. Nothing else, nothing less.
Look, now, there is a lot. I mean, like, at least 1,000 Bullgod fans in Twitch chat right now. Anything to say to all your fans?
Hey, I appreciate all the love, but hey, we actually win Bulldog today. We ain't Bulldog poop, alright? We're Bulldog today.
Okay. Bullgod coming in clutch. Now, thank you very much. We'll have a chat later, but again, go bask in the glory and have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Thank you. See you next week, maybe.
Maybe, hopefully. Hopefully it all goes well for him next week. He knows it's going to be a difficult week for Direwolves next week, so, you know, not getting his hopes too high, but again, absolute stunning game from Direwolves today. Now, Skimmy, did you enjoy that one?
I did. Look, I love seeing Kiwis get excited, hey, because sometimes it just throws you off the lingo, the accent, and all the rest, and yeah, Bulgod's is a character. Love him.
Certainly
I'm keen to meet him.
Yes. Oh, land one day, babe.
One day, surely.
Please, one day, please. Now, look, we do have a player of the game, and it was the big man up top, Zoranus, with an absolute scorcher. I'd have to say it's the best game yet. 11-2-7, 69% kill participation, funny number, and look, not too funny of a game. It was all serious down on the Rift. Man was just cutting people with those legs, Kitty.
He's had 2 amazing games. One was on the Zeri, this time is on the Camille. Zoranus is picking up his game, you know, we do a little bit trolling with that Janna top and the Vayne top, but he's redeeming himself with these carries in the top lane.
Definitely going back, having a look at the footage and fixing things up, and that's exactly what he did. Look, we asked the question, how's he going to go up against Lived? We know that Lived is a very, very experienced top laner. The answer was, well, pretty bloody well, Skimmy.
It is, and like, it's why I was like injecting the empathy into the game, right? Because you can see the desperation of like never give up attitude from Liv, where he's just trying and all these flanking angles and all these options and these opportunities that would work in maybe, you know, different scenarios. But teams have clearly figured out that, you know, you put him behind and the rest of the team aren't up to the occasion to look to try and carry to the same level that he can, right? You're still waiting for that bot lane to come online. Chungy needs a little bit of that protection. You know, Oli's trying to hard carry on a Carthus, but just wasn't able to farm up those stacks. It's just such a rough situation for them. I really hope they can find some momentum, some more of these upsets, right? Because we see that they can do it, right? They can take a win out of peace of all teams. So yeah, there's definitely the formula for success there. They just need to find some way to tap into that magic.
Now look, I have a promise for you guys in chat. And it's that we deliver here on the LCO. We deliver mail. We're not Ozpost. We don't lose packages in bins and stuff. We do, however, go straight into your email. So exclamation mail in the chat. Make sure you drop your email in there and you'll never miss a giveaway or a competition again. So that's what you want to do. M-A-I-L. I'll keep saying it because I do keep seeing class clowns in chat. Type in M-A-L-E. Come on. It's enough of that. Hey, I'm the one here doing all the funnies, not you guys in chat. Although you are good content sometimes. Speaking of content, no from the fans again.
Really?
Again. No memes. None. So please jump on Twitter, make some memes, because after the break, we got the last game, and that means that there's only one more segment where we can put your memes up. No one's made any. But look, speaking of that game, it's the banger. It's the one you've been waiting for. Pentanet up against Peace, coming up after the break.
So they want to look for a fight with a turn.
CP, they haven't spotted him just yet. He's got all the options in the world right now. Jumps in, the focus is Bulldog. Maybe not who you want. He's now just been ulted. He's just dead.